G'day, I'm in Leighton and I'm going to talk about a bit that I use that I find is really helpful, and it's this one. That's called a peewee bit, and the reason I use that is well, I have a lot of reasons I use it, but in 2005 when these first come out, I was given one to try, see what I thought of it, and that's probably it. So it's 2019 now. That's probably the same bit. But the reason that goes with me to every clinic, I ride every young horse in it when I start riding in a bit, is that I found that horses handle the feel of that in their mouth. They're really comfortable with that. It's not too big a mouthful. That's, you think, like people say, oh, a thin bit, it's tough on them, it's hard on them, it's reasonably thin. But that's not the case. What's tough on a horse is you pulling on it and your horse not knowing how to work with that discomfort or how to avoid being uncomfortable by being soft and going with the feel of that bit. By that I mean not get behind it where he's back behind it with his face and he's worried about it, so he just stays tucked in there behind the bit. Some people ride like that. I don't. I like to be able to pick my horse up and say, hey, get ready to do something. So I don't want him frightened of that bit. And then, but if I've trained my horse well, then I find that he'll just sort of come with the feel of that, and then I use nice heavy set of reins, which I'll talk about in a minute, and the horse feels all that pick up, and and it's not just like an on-off where it's, if your horse all of a sudden feels something, he'll start to brace and push and stick his neck out, and I don't want that in my horses. I want my horses nice and soft, so when I reach down and pick my reins up, and I do pick them up, I never pull on them, I just reach down and pick them up. I want my horse just to come with that and lift his shoulders and work on how he's readying himself for the next thing. There's a lot in that. It's not just about equipment, that's for sure. But it takes a bit to teach a horse that. It's a lot of what horsemanship is about, but I really like that. The other thing I like about this bit is there's no joint in there, it's just a mullen mouth. So there's nothing to get over and get on the bar of the horse's mouth. The bar of the horse's mouth is the bones, his jawbone on either side of his bottom jaw, the bottom or his jawbone. The bone there is not covered with anything except a really thin membrane, and there's nerves in there and that sort of thing. And people say, oh, I use a double jointed such and such because it's a lot nicer. Well, they're not nicer, and especially if you do anything lateral and your horse does this, that bit's only got to move over in his mouth that far, and that joint on that bit is sitting on the bar of his mouth. This bit is the same all the way through. It also means when you ride a lot of different horses like I do, I can get away with that being a little bit long on a certain horse because it's, if I'm going to do something laterally and I pick up on it, it'll pull through their mouth a little. But it's the same all the way through, so there's nothing there to catch on his jawbone or the bars of his mouth, if you like. If you think about the thickness, I want my horse to be really comfortable carrying that about. I don't want him to feel like he's got a mouthful. So you think about it for yourself. If you had to carry something in your mouth all day, would you like to carry around a pencil in your mouth or a pick handle? If you had to do it all day, which would be the most comfortable? And I don't think that pick handle would be any less comfortable if someone pulled on it either. You know, there's more of a cranking the mouth open type effect. Some people get past that by putting noseband on, or, you know, I'm not a lover of those. I think they cover up a lot of things, you know, and I wouldn't like to go to work all day with my mouth tied shut. So, you know, and when I ride, I don't just ride for 20 minutes as a rule, so I'm not a big lover of that type of deal. You know, but if you've got to be ridden all day, you don't want to go all day with your mouth tied shut. You can get a false sort of sense of security out of that, but it's only a false one. It's just force. It's not training. So that's the peewee bit. As I said, I really like them. I've tried expensive bits. I've got expensive bits. I've got snaffle bits, and but for, you know, for teaching young horses or for rehabilitating old ones and off the trackers or anything really, I like that bit. I do ride in a snaffle occasionally too. I've got some nice ones. I've got a nice spade bit there as well, which sometimes I'll put on a horse. But, you know, as I said, the bit's not there to control the horse. It's there to send signals to your horse to get ready to do something. That's all I use it for. So I say to my horse, get ready to do something, man, and then the rest of it comes from my energy and my seat. So it's not about control, it's about directing the horse, not controlling it. Too many people think that that is all about control and that they need a different bit because the one they got's not working, or, you know, that's a nice bit to use, I love it. But I can probably get away with, you know, pretty much any sort of bit if I go around it the right way, you know, because I'm not using it as a tool to force the horse to do something. One of the common mistakes people make is they think that horses get harder in the mouth as they get older. They don't. They get more worried and there's more pain, and you know, so they protect themselves by pushing and holding that bit. That's what hard in the mouth is. It's got nothing to do with callousing or, you know, and horses, as they get older, they should become more educated, therefore more soft. But that doesn't always happen, especially in horses that do fast sorts of sports and things. But the more they lean, the more worried they are about the bit. And what I found, which might amaze a lot of people, is that over the years, consistently, I think the horses that lean on the bit the hardest are actually the most sensitive. So there's some food for thought. Anyway, these are available on our website at www.ianleightonhorsemanship.com. I don't know whether you need to say the W's nowadays or not, but that's where you'll find them. They come with a little chin strap there and these sides. I'll talk about that really quickly. All they do is stop the bit pulling through the horse's mouth. That's all they're there for, and that just sort of keeps everything from lifting up. And they're not magic, but, you know, I find them a nice little bit that most horses are quite happy to have in their mouth. They come with a little sort of synthetic chin strap, which is fine, like you know, it's got a buckle on it. I just make one out of Latigo and put on them. I think that sort of just looks a bit nicer, and, you know, for me, yeah, I like that a little better, but they come with a little synthetic chin strap, which functions fine. So, all right, that's the bits that I sell, and they're the reasons why. Thank you.